Coming up, the Yankees hit 9 straight wins while the Red Sox lose a series to the Orioles. This is Locked On Now MLB.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now MLB, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories in baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We've got our Locked On MLB hosts here to recap everything from the day in baseball on Sunday. The Yankees are officially your hottest team, and they kept cooking in Kansas City on Sunday afternoon.
The best performance.
Hold up.
The New York Yankees are no strangers to being the best, and a big win streak has given the Bronx Bombers the best record in the league. Our Locked On Yankees host is feeling good about the team while understanding there's still a lot of the season left to go.
This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and your New York Yankees are riding a 9-game winning streak and own the best record in baseball. And yes, I know, it's the very beginning of May, but we're seeing good signs from this team. The Yankees are not only winning games they should be winning against teams that they should be beating with ease, they're winning games that they would have lost last season. Sunday's game is a game the 2021 Yankees would have lost. The 2022 Yankees were like, we got this. The bullpen is a strength, the starters bend but don't break, that happened with Luis Severino, and the offense will find a way to win even when they don't score in double digits. Now, the star of Sunday's game, I'll give it to Michael King. He's been a star so far this entire season, and if he keeps this up, you might see him in the All-Star game, which would be something. So we'll have a recap of this series against the Royals, a preview of the series against Toronto, which begins Monday night in Toronto, and it's episode 750 of Locked On Yankees, so get your party hats out. It's going to be a party.
With the way the Giants have been pitching as of late, San Francisco was lucky to even get one win out of the weekend series with the Nationals. On Sunday, the Giants lost with a lot of runs on the other side of the scoreboard. Again, Locked On Giants is rightfully concerned.
The Giants allowed 28 runs on 45 hits while losing 2 out of 3 to the lowly Nationals over the weekend. Ben Kaspick with the Locked On Giants podcast. Really just uncharacteristically poor pitching, and today some sloppy defense as well for the Giants in this series. They're also dealing with a huge amount of injuries and COVID outbreaks on their team, so they're basically running out an unfamiliar squad out there on offense. But ultimately, yeah, you're allowing more than 9 runs per game in this series, and the pitching, those guys are your normal guys. And so I just kind of chalk it up to weirdness and the Nationals being a little bit due for a breakout of their own. And for the Giants, you turn the page, you still have a really good record, you still have a really good run differential. Now the Dodgers come up in LA on Tuesday with Carlos Rodon on the mound. So we'll break it all down, talk about the roster crunch and the COVID outbreak on tomorrow's Locked On Giants, where it's your team every day.
The Orioles won a weekend series within the division by beating the Red Sox on Sunday afternoon. Locked On Orioles is hoping Baltimore can bring more performances like yesterday's going forward.
All right, despite Travis Lakin's best efforts in the 9th inning, the Orioles beat the Red Sox 9-5 and win the series at Camden Yards, taking 2 out of 3 from a struggling Boston team. Have fun with your trip back up north. But a big day for the Orioles offense. They send 9 guys to the plate in the 5th for 3 runs, send 10 guys to the plate in the 6th for 6 runs, a season-high 9 runs for the Orioles. In the victory, Rougned Odor hits his first Oriole home run. Tyler Nevin comes up with his first big hit of the year. And Jordan Lyles grinds out 6 solid innings as the Orioles starter. Hopefully, the offense that the O's saw on Sunday can continue. They got some hits with runners in scoring position, got a lot of them in those 5th and 6th innings. If the offense is operating like that and they keep getting this starting pitching and the bullpen, the O's are going to be a little tougher to beat than we thought this year. But overall, it is always fun taking a series from the Red Sox, and I will break it all down on Monday's episode of the Locked On Orioles podcast.
Coming up, the Guardians and Rockies snapped losing streaks by winning through the weekend. This is Locked On Now MLB. Today's episode of Locked On Now is brought to you by Bet Online, the number one source for all of your online sports gambling needs. The NHL playoffs are due to kick off. The NBA playoffs are in the second round. And of course, baseball is back in action as well. You can do props, line bets, whatever you're interested in. Just head over to betonline.net. Welcome back to Locked On Now MLB. I'm Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We're going to continue to check in with our experts as we go around the league in baseball.
Let's go around the league.
The Cleveland Guardians desperately needed some wins in Oakland this weekend after going into the series on a 7-game losing streak, and Guardians showed up big. They swept the A's. Our Locked On Guardians host goes over the weekend that got Cleveland back on track.
What a weekend. It feels like this is the streakiest team ever. Sweep the Chicago White Sox, lose 7 in a row to the Yankees and Angels, come back and sweep the Oakland Athletics. Big offensive weekend. Nice to see Stephen Kwan back. What a difference he made. But also, today's Sunday lineup, but still my heart. That is what I want to see for a long time going forward. Andres Jimenez had a big weekend. Jose Ramirez is continuing to be, MVP worthy. Everything went well over this weekend. And even when you have players who, had I can't speak today. I'm so excited. It's been such a fun weekend. Happy dance. I'm going to steal my son's little dance. He's 8 months old. That's what he does when he's happy. Even Franmil coming up with a big hit today. Everything went well. It is nice to get out of the negativity of the slide. Sweep, sweep, sweep.
Locked On Astros had good things to take away from yesterday's game with the Blue Jays, but a Houston win wasn't one of them. He outlines the silver linings after losing the series in Canada.
Hey guys, H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. The Astros and Blue Jays fight out a tough series after the slugfest Friday night 11-7 Astros victory. It looks like the Blue Jays got the better of them in these last 2 games. Springer with a couple solo shots on Saturday. Then today using his glove to hurt his former team. You had some bright spots in the bottom of the order, and the ultimate bright spot on offense is Kyle Tucker, who is looking like an MVP. Yordan Alvarez getting into his 6th home run of the season, looking great at the plate as well. There are a lot of good things that we can pull from this. The offense still a little sluggish on overall run production, but that's what we'll cover tonight and this week on Locked On Astros. Remember, on Sunday nights we go live at 8:30. Join us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, we are your team every day. Go Stros.
The White Sox had a rally in the 9th against the Angels, but hadn't scored before that point, and they weren't able to catch up with LA. Our Locked On White Sox host has the answers to a lot of questions surrounding a Chicago team that's lost 10 out of its last 12.
After getting one of the best outings in all of April from Vince Velasquez on Saturday, not to mention 2 big home runs by Tim Anderson and Luis Robert to propel the Sox to a 4-0 victory. Sunday saw the Sox lose once again behind a Dallas Keuchel start. They had a rally in the 9th, but came up a little short and lost to the Angels 6-5. Are the days of Dallas Keuchel as a White Sox starter numbered? That's the question. Dylan Cease goes on Monday, hoping for a series split with the Angels.
The Rangers closed out their series with the Braves with back-to-back wins over the weekend, and as a result, Locked On Rangers has a series win over the defending champs to talk out with you.
The Texas Rangers have taken 2 out of 3 this weekend from the reigning world champs. After spoiling my Friday night, the first game I go to see in person, I think, this team is in the tank, they are in the stinker, everything sucks. No, here they go, and they turn it around, and they have 2 close, great wins against the defending World Series champs. Saturday was a great start from Dane Dunning, but in the Sunday game, Taylor Hearn was able to bounce back from a rough couple of last starts, go 5 innings, his longest outing of the season, strike out 6, and look really solid. The Rangers absolutely destroyed the called-up Kyle Muller, who walked 6 and 2 2/3 innings. This Rangers offense looked great. It was another pretty great day for Corey Seager, who continues his hot streak, reached base 4 times today, made some pretty loud contact. Adolis Garcia with a bases clearing triple. He continues to look amazing at the plate. The rest of this offense did what they needed to. reached base enough, hit enough. 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position, but this team still scored 7 runs. Outscored the Braves 7-3 in this one. Last night, they were able to outscore them 3-1 in a masterful outing from Date Dunning. Of course, Matt Moore comes in and works his multi-inning outing again. Looks very, very good. John King and Matt Bush come in, shut the door, out of the pen. Rangers win 2 out of 3, and I'm feeling much better about this team than I did when I was watching them in person on Friday night. And that makes me feel so good about baseball.
The Rockies beat the Reds 3 straight times over the weekend. Our Locked On Rockies host is feeling a lot better about this team now after getting swept in their previous series.
Rock on Rockies fans. Paul Holden here from the Locked On Rockies podcast. The Colorado Rockies did exactly what they needed to do this weekend in dominating the Cincinnati Reds. Great pitching, great offense. The Rockies get back on track after a tough series against the Phillies, and they improve to 13-9. Exactly what you needed to do, exactly the way you needed to bounce back against a team that's historically struggling. This Rockies team at home is probably going to be another force to be reckoned with. How they can transfer it onto the road, we'll have to continue to wait and see. But you feel a lot better. You feel good. You feel that Philly series is washed away, where the Rockies scored double-digit runs in 2 of the ball games and have stellar outings from just about all their starting pitching in these ones. I'm pretty sure every single starter had a wonderful ball game for the Colorado Rockies in this one. Senza did great. Freeland did great. Cool did great. All great stuff for the Colorado Rockies. Some late runs given up, some and stuff here and there, but at the same time, Rockies really took care of business and dominated it. We'll talk about all things Colorado Rockies right here on Locked On Rockies.
That's all for today on Locked On Now MLB. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On MLB and your team's Locked On podcast. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.